Hello, welcome to video 11 of my go-kart build. Let's see if we can get an engine running and finally start assembling this thing. Now, I know I said this before, but this engine's been sitting on a shelf for 25 years. We put it on a compressor. We used it one summer, and then this got put on a shelf. So it's basically a new engine. It just looks old. It still turns over just fine. The throttle plate is stuck, so I got to figure out what's going on with that and clean it up, because I don't want to put this janky looking engine on a brand new go-kart. That would just ruin the look. Come on. There we go. Dirty. Well, so just take that all apart. Well, I may have been wrong about this being a new engine, because somebody has definitely been in here. Somebody added a hard stop on the throttle and disconnected everything. So I think somebody messed with this engine. That's okay. That means I don't have to worry about messing with it myself. I'll just do whatever I want to it. Yeah, it's not even connected to anything other than this spring. Wish I knew how this went together beforehand, though. That would be nice. But I'm just going to make it up as I go. Okay, so apparently this thing was set up to be wide open all the time, because this is not connected to anything. And the governor is actually pulling the carburetor back wide open. So I think I'm just going to remove all of this assembly, because I'm not going to use any of it, and then figure out a way to attach my cable right to the carburetor. All right. I'll take the carburetor off, but looks like it's okay. I put this back on. A mess. Okay, I'm going to have this on here, mostly because I got to put the gas tank back on. But I'm going to remove this throttle arm because it's completely moot. And I'm going to have to build something to move this back and forth. So I'm thinking put a bolt right here and make an arm that this can go into, and my throttle cable can go into, and then I can use a spring from the end of it back here somewhere and pull everything back. That might work, but I'm not sure I'm going to have enough spring to return my pedal. So I might have to get creative. Alright, I got a clean slate here. I have to put this back on, but I'm going to have to cut it off, because it's going to be right in the way of my bolt. I'll just chop that guy off. Yeah, I'll make a bar for right here. Run my cable into that hole right there. Put a spring on it. Where did my spring go? There. Pull it back. That should work. Okay, I don't have any really thin metal, but I found that I could probably just use this. I can reuse that hole, cut off the rest out there, and that will become my throttle arm. Okay, something like that. Should be able to get enough movement out of that to make my throttle go back and forth. I can make my cable go from here to there, and then run a spring from the end of it up here. Drill some holes. Alright, I think I got it mostly. But that's basically it right there. I might have to change this spring because it's pretty strong. But it gets me wide open throttle, but boy is that tight. It'd be great for returning the pedal, but I think my cable would have problems. I'm going to have to turn this and put a little end on there to hold the end of the cable too, but that's not bad. It turned out pretty good. Nothing wrong with that. Alright, I had to take this thing apart quite a ways because I cannot find the serial number anywhere. I've been looking all over this thing and I just don't see it anywhere. It's nowhere. It's non-existent. Well, I found it. It's stamped on the side of the valve cover. That's a stupid place in my opinion. I think it would be on the block because if you replace that, then you don't have that information anymore. But now I can start looking at parts. Well, the more I dig into this engine, the less I want to work on it. I'm going to try and get it running, but I think I'm going to just start looking for a replacement engine immediately because this thing, I'm pretty sure, is older than I thought it was initially. So I think it'll run, but man, is it ugly. My intention was to paint it and make it look nice, but I'd have to tear the thing all the way apart. And I'm just not prepared to do that right now. But maybe later, but I'll get it running, use it as a test engine, I guess. Okay, I got this thing back together as much as I want to do. I didn't bother with the exhaust shroud because I don't want that on there anyway. I'm going to splash some gas in this thing and see if it fires off. Excellent. All right, I got a running engine. That's great. I'll give it an oil change and get that pulley off of it off camera. That means now I can really start assembling this thing, which is the fun part. So here we go. Just a little update. I had to cut this off with a grinder because it would not come off. I put a pulley puller on there and it just broke the pulley. So, but I got it off. So at least I can get this guy on there now. I also have a leak in my gas tank I got to deal with. It's just like a hairline crack. I think I'll just put some epoxy on it or something, but that was a pain. So I found that putting a hose gasket inside of here takes up the space and adds a little shock absorbency. And my spacer is just a drilled out nut. I'll be cutting these bolts off, but to start with I'm just going to leave them long. So I got a big old long spacer for the wheel. That's oddly satisfying. That is also oddly satisfying. Try to make sure this guy is straight. Doesn't have a crooked steering wheel. Had to put a spacer on these bolts so I could drop these down as far as I can. Again, it's just a nut that's been drilled out. Trying a novel way to check my alignment. Can't do that. that way. I'm not going to bother with these holes in the middle because the drain plug runs right into it. I had to make my own key for this. The one that came with this kit was so loose that I tightened everything up and it just fell out. So I had to get new brake cable adjusters because the other ones were ugly. Leave both of these cables a little bit long because I got to tear everything back apart with paint, and I'm just going to run the cables over the top of the seat to do my testing, and then I can deal with that later. Deal with cutting them off and making them nice. Find out how well this works. Yep, I'm going to have to make another one of these and just make it a little wider, make a new pin. No biggie. Alright, finally got it. I had to make that new, and then I had to replace the pin with a bolt because I ran out of material. But and I need a stronger spring. Alright, I think I got it this time. Yeah, I got the engine about as close as I can get it. That way I can always back it off. Alright, that was a pain. I had to break the chain and put the master link on there. Didn't want to do it easily. I have to add a throttle stop somewhere. I'm just going to run this wire under the seat for right now. Well, it'll be under the seat anyway, but this is not the permanent wire. This is just speaker wire. I didn't want to put the cables underneath yet because I have to take this thing all the way back apart to paint it, so there's no sense in getting carried away. Ooh, just touches the ground. I forgot to get a rag. Managed to fix my leak, some JB weld. It's kind of ugly, but who cares? All right, this is the moment I've all been waiting for. See if I can send the chain through the ceiling. Take two, little carburetor adjustment. It wants to go. All right, now I have to wait. I can't drive this in my neighborhood because I have dirt roads and potholes, and this thing is way too close to the ground. I gotta wait for good weather, and I need somebody to help me load this in my truck. Yeah, you don't have to wait, but I have to wait. Okay, so I managed to get this thing out and take it for a drive. It wasn't very long, but it was enough for me to feel out how it drives. The brakes were a bit squishy. I think that was my fault for not getting them adjusted right. But the big problem is it's a very twitchy front end. And I'm going to show you what I think the problem is. These are way too short. I didn't know how long to make them, so I just guessed. But I need to make them longer and move the tie rod out farther, because even this one is not far enough out. And I'm probably going to move it to the center of the tube right here. And I'm just going to make whole new spindles. I'm not going to try and fix these ones, because they were so cheap and easy to make that it will just be easier to make new ones. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied with how this project drives, and because of that I think I'm going to go ahead and start breaking it down and getting it ready for paint. That'll probably be the next video, just doing paint work. After that we'll see, because I would like to do engine work, but that requires a lot more funding. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.